Hey everyone, welcome. So if you're an English speaker who's trying to learn Spanish, you already know that practicing out in the real world is the ultimate test, right? I mean, studying vocabulary at your desk is one thing, but stepping outside and actually using it, totally different ballgame. Today, we're bringing you a specialized explainer designed to be your ultimate street meeting guide. We're going to break down the exact science, the psychology, and the vocabulary you need to confidently approach and converse with strangers in Spanish. By the end of this, you won't just know what words to say, you'll know exactly how to say them with total cultural confidence.
Okay, I want you to picture this for a second. Imagine you're standing right in the middle of a bustling street in Madrid, or maybe a super lively plaza in Mexico City. The sun's shining, locals are chatting a mile a minute all around you, and suddenly it hits you. You are completely lost. You need to find the train station. You look around and you feel that immediate, horrible spike of panic. You know the words, ¿Dónde está la estación? But the thought of actually walking up to a random stranger and saying it out loud, yeah, that is terrifying. Well, stick with me because today we're going to completely eliminate that fear.
So, here's our roadmap for this explainer. We're going to cover stopping a stranger, the 5-step introduction, breaking the ice naturally, navigating cultural rules, and finally, the polite goodbye.
All right, let's jump right into section 1, stopping a stranger.
Look, for a lot of us English speakers, going up and interrupting a stranger feels super intrusive, doesn't it? Like we're being a bother. But the psychological data tells a completely different story. There was this fascinating study done in Chicago where researchers asked participants to just strike up conversations with random commuters. The participants were absolutely dreading it. They expected to be ignored or flat out rejected. But the actual result? A 100% success rate, literally 0 rejections. The data actually proves that strangers want to talk to you. The barrier isn't that people are annoyed. The barrier is simply that everybody is waiting for somebody else to make the first move.
So knowing that people are actually willing to help, let's arm you with some practical street survival vocabulary. You always want to kick things off by asking for permission. Just say, Disculpa, ¿puedo hacerte una pregunta? Which just means, excuse me, can I ask you a question? From there, you just get straight to the point. ¿Dónde está la estación de tren? To find the train station. Or maybe, ¿sabes dónde está la farmacia más cercana? If you desperately need the nearest pharmacy. And hey, if you're out of cash, ¿dónde puedo encontrar un cajero automático? These rapid-fire phrases are direct, they're polite, and they get you understood instantly.
Moving right along, section 2, the 5-step introduction.
Okay, so you've stopped someone. Awesome. Now you face your very first major hurdle, the critical difference between informal and formal pronouns. In English, we have it easy. We just say you. But in Spanish, you got a choice to make. 2 is informal. You use that for people around your own age or in a super casual setting. Usted, on the other hand, is formal. You use that for people who are much older than you or when you really need to show a high level of respect, kind of like saying sir or ma'am. Choosing the right one right off the bat signals that you actually understand their social nuances.
But hey, it's not just about the words, right? It's about the physical greeting too. If you've spent your life in an English-speaking country, you know we really value our personal bubble. A solid handshake is the gold standard. However, in a lot of Hispanic cultures, the greeting is so much warmer. Sure, a handshake might pop up in a strict business meeting, but a friendly introduction on the street often involves a kiss on each cheek, especially between 2 women or a man and a woman. It's just an expressive, super welcoming gesture. Don't overthink it, just roll with it.
Let's put this all together into a seamless, totally predictable little dance for a basic Spanish intro. Step 1, you hit them with a cheerful hola. Step 2, share your name by saying me llamo and then your name. Step 3, bounce it back and ask their name with ¿Cómo te llamas?, assuming we're keeping it informal. Step 4, when they answer, you close the loop with mucho gusto, which just means nice to meet you. It's incredibly simple, it flows beautifully, and honestly, it works every single time.
All right, section 3, breaking the ice naturally. So names are out of the way. How in the world do we keep this conversation going without it getting insanely awkward? There's actually a brilliant psychological strategy for this, and it's all about lowering a stranger's defenses through absolute transparency. Human behavior experts will tell you the best way to start a conversation with a stranger is explicit sincerity by filling the information gaps. Think about it. When a stranger walks up to you, your brain immediately screams 3 things. Who are you? What do you want? And when are you leaving? The crucial trick here is to build your sentences so they instantly answer those exact questions. You just state the what, the why, and the for what. Like, you could say, hi, I'm an English speaker, I'm trying to learn Spanish, and I just wanted to introduce myself to practice for a minute. Room. By explaining exactly why you're talking to them, all suspicion evaporates. You've filled that information gap, and I promise you their defensive walls will drop instantly.
Now, of course, not all icebreakers are created equal. Let's take a look at this graphic right here. It's called the liganometro, basically an icebreaker or flirt meter. It breaks phrases down into natural, cursi, which means cheesy, or casposa, which is basically outdated or downright creepy. A natural approach might just be, hey, do you want to grab a drink? But if you strut up to someone in Madrid and say, are you from Madrid because you are the capital of my heart? Well, congrats, you just broke the cursi meter. Seriously, stick to natural, situational questions and you'll be golden.
Next up, Section 4, Navigating Cultural Rules.
Getting the words right is really only half the battle. This is where you absolutely have to know what part of the world you're standing in. Spain and Latin America obviously share a language, but the social vibe? Vastly different. Over in Spain, communication is incredibly direct and super informal. You might actually hear someone casually greet their boss with hola tío, which is literally like saying, hey man, but jump over to many Latin American countries and the culture relies on a strict hierarchical respect. Titles matter, formal greetings are fully expected, and respect for authority and elders is deeply woven into everyday life.
And speaking of elders, there's a very specific piece of urban etiquette you've got to know about, especially when you're walking down those narrow, crowded city sidewalks. A massive rule of courtesy is to always yield the safest part of the sidewalk, usually the interior side away from the cars, to older folks or anyone who might need it. And when you do step out of the way, giving a polite con permiso, which means excuse me or with your permission, shows a level of cultural fluency that locals will absolutely respect.
And that brings us to Section 5, the polite goodbye.
Okay, so you've had a fantastic chat, you got your directions, but you can't just silently turn around and walk away, right? You need a smooth exit strategy. Here are your perfectly polite farewells that will leave an awesome final impression. You can drop an es un placer, meaning it's a pleasure to meet you. Definitely show some gratitude with muchas gracias por tu ayuda. Thank you so much for your help. If they're the ones thanking you, just reply with a quick de nada, you're welcome. And to wrap the whole shebang up, give them a warm que tengas un buen día. Have a great day. It's courteous, it's confident, and it is the perfect end of the interaction.
Take a second and just think about how far we've come in these last few minutes. You now know that statistically, strangers are genuinely eager to talk to you. You've got the 5-step intro down, you know the psychological trick of filling the information gap, and you've even got the unspoken street etiquette to back it all up. You have the tools and you have the vocabulary. So here is my final challenge to you. It's time to step outside your comfort zone. Who is going to be the very first stranger you approach in Spanish today? Get out there and start talking.